Welcome to our very first ever episode of our very first ever podcast. My name is Blake. I'm here with my friend Evan.
Hello.
That's Evan that just said hello. We're going to be talking about different topics on our podcast. Today, in particular, our topic is movies. Evan himself is somewhat of an expert on movies, so this is why we chose this topic. He knows a lot about movies.
Yep.
Tell me some things.
A lot of them.
How many movies have you seen?
Probably 50.
That's it?
That's about it.
Are they all different movies, or are they the same movie?
Probably about 20 if we're talking about different movies.
20 individual movies?
Yeah, I watch them a lot though.
You could list all of those.
I watch them twice.
Okay. That's not helpful. Well, so I wanted to start off, and we could talk about some of our favorite movies. So, like, my favorite movie, and I know you've seen it like 4 times with me, because I watch it like once a week, is Midsommar. And I just think that it's the best movie ever, because every scary movie ever made is in like the pitch black and you can't see anything, and that movie's in the middle of the day, and it just feels so different.
That is true.
I particularly, it's so different. I love, what is that group, I forget their name. They make a lot of movies. They made Hereditary too, but that group that makes those movies, every movie they make is like pure gold. Not even all of them are scary. Some of them are like just dramas or whatever, but they're all good.
How do I find that, the group?
I just look up who made Midsommar. I've seen Midsommar like 15 times.
We're calling on a guest.
Our phone, Google.
Huh?
It is. It's
Midsommar.
It is like A4 movies or something.
Oh, A4 movies? Oh, she had it in her head.
Something like that. But yeah, they make really good movies. I think Midsommar and Hereditary, or either one of those, are the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Do
you think it's scary or just creepy? Midsommar.
Hereditary is scary, but Midsommar is just eerie.
Yeah, Hereditary is good.
And I think the thing about Hereditary is it's such a slow build up, right? It's like there's nothing going on for the first hour and a half of the movie, and then the last 30 minutes is just like, it's like you go up a roller coaster for an hour and a half, and then the last 30 minutes you just shoot straight down into like terror.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite movie is?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite movie necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite movie. I like all the movies I watch.
No, you don't. That's not true. You hate Marvel.
I do hate Marvel.
Well,
That's my least favorite one.
Why do you hate Marvel?
I don't like modern superhero movies that much. I feel like I can't watch them. I don't know why. They're just not very entertaining for me.
That's messed up. Well, you liked Infinity War.
It was okay.
So, like, watching Infinity War, do you think you could go back and rewatch them all, or you still hate them?
I would have to be with someone and watch it. Someone to guide me through them and explain to me what's happening.
They're not that complex.
and point out the good scenes.
Wake me up if something good happens.
So I can really enjoy them.
What did you like about... Okay, what made Infinity War good? That was better than all the other ones you've seen?
I'd say it's kind of easy to follow from the beginning, and it kind of draws your attention from the beginning, and the plot's pretty easy to follow. I feel like most of the time with superhero movies, I kind of just drift off.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because that's like it's not the last one, but it's like, it's the one where everything comes together, so it's weird that like it fits so well where like you can just kind of like watch it with no idea of what's going on, because every character in that is from like another movie.
Yeah, I guess I don't really watch superhero movies for the, normally I don't watch it necessarily for the plot.
Right.
I watch it for, like, compelling characters, like the Joker, or, like, a standout character. It's just entertaining without having to think about it.
Right. So, I actually, that's something I want to talk about. DC movies are not good. Besides The Dark Knight, they're not good. Like, you've seen Suicide Squad, and...
Why do you think The Dark Knight's good? Do you think they just randomly got it good? Or
No, Christopher Nolan directed that movie, and he's the best director ever.
That is true.
I generally, he makes most of my favorite movies. Him and, who is it that directed, like, The Life of Pi and...
Cynthia, who directed The Life of Pi?
She's not going to know that one.
I have no idea.
M. Night Shyamalan. He makes really good movies too, but Christopher Nolan is the greatest director. And I think that's all that is like, you know, they gave, like, Batman, which is already one of the most interesting or better superheroes, into, like, the hands of the best director, and he just made it right, you know? I mean, the actors were really good. Of course, the Joker was, like, one of the greatest acting jobs I've ever seen, but...
Yeah, I wonder who was responsible for the Joker. You think it was more... like
I was definitely
a director
Heath
thing? I know it was Heath Ledger for sure,
Yeah.
but you think it was a director thing, too?
No, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if this is true, but I've heard, like, Heath Ledger, like, locked himself in a hotel for days to, like, prepare for that. Yeah, so I definitely think he made that character, you
I
know?
heard he wasn't talking to, like, anybody on staff either.
Right, like, he was putting himself in that mind state, which is crazy, but... I mean, it made out to be, like, I think the single-handedly the best, like, acting I've ever seen, you know? Like, that's... I love the Joker, the movie, with Joaquin Phoenix, but I still think that Heath Ledger just did such an iconic job.
Yeah. I wonder what it would have been like if he wouldn't have done any of that. If he would have just...
If someone else...
I wonder how good it would have been if he would have just, like, not locked himself up.
Just walked into work and...
Not done anything extreme, just freaking gone.
I think it still would have been good. I don't think The Dark Knight would have been, like, held up as, like, the movie it is. Because, okay, think about, like, everything the Joker was in that movie. All the scenes he's in that made it very interesting. And imagine him with just, like... you know, putting in just the minimum effort. Then those movies are not good anymore. They're, you know...
Yeah.
Or they're not bad, but they're not iconic as they, you know... So I definitely think... That's why the movie's so good. You had a great director, you know, you had... I think 3 movies is really good to set up, like, a story like that. He had 3 movies, and Heath Ledger putting on the best performance ever put on by an actor. All together just made, like, a great movie.
Yeah.
But then, like, other DC movies are bad, and I think that's mostly to do with, like... I don't think it's just directing. It's, like, the writing, too. They don't even do a good job at acting. Like, Ben Affleck, not that he's a bad actor, but he's a bad Batman, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he does a good job at portraying, like, what Batman's supposed to be.
I wonder if there's any other, like, examples of people... I know celebrities and actors are already a little...
Crazy.
Kind of crazy, but I wonder if there's any other examples of people going crazy for a movie. Or going crazy because of a role, or, like, intentionally going crazy to make their role better.
I mean... There's some directors who do that. I don't remember the movie. It's it's about this film crew who follows, like, some teenagers onto, like, an island, and the movie's like moral is about how the media screws things to, like, make people look good or bad. Like, in this case, the directors and the cameramen make the teenagers look innocent, even though they were, like, provoking this, like, small tribal people who were, like, had no contact with society.
Yeah.
And they got themselves, like, killed by, like, you know, provoking them. But then they turn it around and make it feel like the teenagers were, like, victims and getting attacked. And but then, like, the guy who made this movie also, he got in trouble. I actually think he went to jail over this. He attacked the actors, like, attacked live animals and, like, tortured them for the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, everything he was talking about in the movie, he, like, completely, like, did in that movie. So he's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the writing is just bad in DC movies. Like, for example, Suicide Squad. The bad guys, they had this, like, modernized, like, gangster, like, you know, street life kind of vibe to them, and it just...
Which movie?
Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, it's fine for, like, a stylized movie, but they actually chose that movie to run with, like, other, you know, movies. Like, they put that in with the Justice League and stuff, and, like, that's your Joker. That's not a good Joker.
Yeah. I guess that would be, like, I think Suicide Squad is a good example of, like, why I don't like modern superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're, like, trying to figure out what the audience wants, and they're trying to, like, feed them that.
Right.
It's like, it's more like a business instead of them just doing their own thing and doing something different.
Like,
it's
tipping
more
their
it's
toes.
more like them, you know, like saying a joke and then, like, waiting for the audience and, like, come on, please laugh at this or something like that. It's like they're trying to cater to the audience and make it like get as much money as possible.
Right. So you think Suicide Squad was like a social experiment? They're like, what if we put like gangster villains in a movie and let's see if people like that?
I think they just already knew that they not really like an experiment, more like I think they will like this, so I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
Not really like an experiment.
They just assumed it would work.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that movie did pretty well at the box office. It just like no one liked it that they saw it. They're like, this is.
I've never heard anybody who liked it, honestly.
I don't know. I mean, I think Harley Quinn was okay in that, and I know she's like the main character. But besides that, I think that's just because the girl sounds and acts like Harley Quinn. Like she's like what I would think of as like a Harley Quinn in real life.
I would say she was the best.
But like the Joker was so bad, and that's the Joker they wanted in all their DC movies. They definitively wanted like a weird like wannabe like gangster Joker, and like for example, like with the Dark Knight, they could have had that Joker be like the Joker for the Justice League, and I think that would be. It didn't have to be Heath Ledger, of course it couldn't be Heath Ledger, but that like style of Joker.
Yeah.
But then they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, and then. I think every movie that went with the Justice League was bad. Like I think Batman vs Superman obviously was awful. I did not like Wonder Woman. I haven't seen the new one. But then they like kind of stopped doing the Justice League. I think because they all just no one liked them maybe, or at least I didn't like them. But then they made Shazam, and Shazam was good because they stopped trying to be like. They stopped trying to do weird stuff, and they weren't too serious. But then Shazam was just like funny and goofy, and he was just like a little kid. And it was heartwarming, but it wasn't like too heartwarming where he was just like, I'm an orphan and I need you to care about me. Yeah. He was just like a goofy little kid who like, was a superhero, and I think that worked.
Yeah, I still have yet to see Shazam.
You should watch that. That one's the only good DC movie made since The Dark Knight.
We'll take an hour-long commercial break to let me
watch Shazam. We'll go watch Shazam. We'll be back.
We'll be back, and I will tell you about it.
So you wanted to talk about this. Remakes. Movies that are remade. How do you feel about that?
I do not think there should be any remakes of movies.
None?
None whatsoever.
Well, okay.
I just think I think once a movie's made, it's essentially that's that movie. I don't think you can remake that movie. I think you can do, a second one, a third one, a fourth one, but I don't think the original should ever be remade.
I mean, I get that, and then, like, we were talking about Friday the 13th, and I think that's a great example of, like, I don't even like the original ones. I don't think they're that good. They're iconic, for sure. I think the character's cool. The movies are not good. They're not well made. They're not particularly interesting. Me and my wife tried to rewatch them recently, and I didn't like them. But then the remake is a little more enjoyable just because it's at least modernized. Like, even if it's a bad movie, it's at least not, like, an old bad movie. And I think it worked better, but then I guess to your point, like, so how about that? Like, for Friday the 13th wasn't good in the first place. Is it okay to remake that to make it better?
No, because I think you could just if it wasn't good, then you should just make a new movie that's sort of like it, that's good.
Right.
But like, if it wasn't good, you wouldn't have to steal its plot.
That's something else I don't like. Movies that, like, copy other movies but aren't even a remake, they're just different.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, It is obviously, like, the staple clown movie, right? But then there's so many, like creepy clowns movies, like, Killer Clown from Down the Street and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't really stop that. I feel like it's almost like copyright, though. Like,
I mean, it's, you can't own the rights on creepy clowns, but at the same time...
Yeah, not creepy clowns, but, like, if you go and like remake a movie and just call it the same thing,
right?
It's almost like copyright, like because you can't go and steal someone else's song. So
right.
I wonder why.
So I don't know. I think it in particular has been like copied so many times by other bad movies, but I feel like it can't work. Like obviously, like you make that movie and like I did a bad job of making a clown movie. So like, why do you even make it?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that many people are like, I just need to watch a clown movie.
Can you think of another clown movie that we can look up and see?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
See how much it made and how much it spent?
Yeah. I think Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Now, I know a lot of people like that movie, but I still think it's, like, ripping off it. Because it's, I mean, Pennywise is also a killer clown from outer space. I don't actually know which one came out first, but I'm pretty sure the book, It, came out first. That's the most popular clown movie I know besides it. Did you find it?
Oh boy, it had a budget of $2 million.
Killer Clowns?
I don't see how much it.
I feel like it's a lot for when it came out. That's probably like a big thing.
Here we go. Kill.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. Clowns with a K.
It's spelled with a K?
I think so.
Huh. Okay, so while you're looking at
wow.
that,
So domestic gross was $15 million.
that's pretty good.
Overseas gross $28 million. Worldwide gross $43 million.
43 million.
As opposed to $2 million to produce. So
That's pretty good.
Quite a,
I mean, I know it's
quite a
popular.
profit.
We're not getting anyone to follow our podcast now that I've talked about that movie. Like, there are people who love that movie. But I also talked about Friday the 13th, and
Yeah, that was probably our audience right there.
that's fine. I didn't like it. I'm not saying it's definitively a bad movie. I just didn't like it. I don't like them. Nightmare on the Elm Street is also not that good. I think they get better with age. Like, we're not, like, each one gets better, but the newer the movie is, the better it is. Like, it's a great idea with that movie, but, like, it was too cringy.
Yeah, I like the first one. Haven't seen any of the others, but I really like the first one. So I'll advocate for that first one.
It's bad. It's just, I think the thing is, like, he's got, like, the powers of, like, a truly creepy villain, you know? Like, he goes in your dreams, he can, like, torment you, keep you awake for hours. But, like, it's almost, I feel like it should be backwards. Like, Jason is the personality of someone who would torment you, and all he does is walk around and, like, stab you. Freddy has the personality of someone who just, like, would walk around and stab you, and he torments you. Because Freddy's just, like, a loudmouth, you know? He's, like, if you ever watch wrestling, he's, like, a guy who's, like, he'll just talk trash for hours, but then if you go to fight him, he'll run away. Like, he's just all talk, no smoke.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're not going to get any fans because people love those movies.
They do.
28. Let's see.
$28 million. There's a lot of fans out there.
But you also said, okay, because you said that, like, not remakes, but, like, adding on to a movie can be okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, like, I think a good example of that, and we were talking about it, is the original Cloverfield. I don't even think it's, like, great. I mean, it's interesting, but it wasn't, like, great. But then, like, years later, they made a movie called, like, something Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
And the whole movie's different. Like, the plot of the original one is just, like, this, like, Godzilla-esque monster, like, destroying a city and, like, terrorizing people, but you never really get to see him, like, because people are hiding.
Right.
And the new one, or the remake, or the edition, or whatever, the sequel, is about this guy who's got some people, like, locked in, like a bomb shelter. And he basically is, like, trying to play, like, Monopoly with them. And, like, they try to escape. And he starts, like, losing his mind. And he's like, you can't leave. There's, like, aliens outside. And then they do escape. And to find out that he wasn't crazy and there are aliens. You know, spoiler alert. But I also...
But, like, that's, like, an idea of, like... That, I mean, that could have happened. Like, if you, like, take the Cloverfield movie, like, that could have happened. That's, like, a creative idea of a situation that could have happened during the Cloverfield movie. So that's why I like those type of movies. As opposed to just, like, copying the original movie.
See,
because there's so much room. I'm surprised more people don't do that because there's so much room for creativity.
Right.
You can go in any direction.
Cloverfield Lane kind of ruined my perception of the Cloverfield world because I always thought it was just a giant monster until I watched the second one. I didn't know they were aliens.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was like a Godzilla type thing.
I did too at first. That's cool.
What else? Let's see. Okay, video game movies. That's probably a short topic, but there's no good video game movies.
I haven't seen one.
Prince of Persia is the most watchable one. I don't think it's a good movie by any means. But then you've got, like, Tomb Raider is awful. I hate Tomb Raider. Resident Evil. A lot of people like the Resident Evil movies. They're terrible compared to the games. They're not even the same. They're different. Like, they don't make sense compared to the movies or to the games. Let's see. What would you say is a game that you would like to see made into a movie?
NBA 2K.
Yeah, Madden 21.
I was kidding. A cool game I played was Alan Wake, and that was.
Yeah.
What I remember, it was kind of like a mystery, dark, scary investigation type of game. On an island, and it was. I don't remember the exact plot, but if that was a movie, I feel like that would be an easy movie to make from that.
I feel like Tomb Raider would be an easy movie, and they messed it up.
Yeah.
But also, maybe it's too easy to where, like, it'll just be plain, you know? Like, it's never going to be good because it's just too, like, generic of an idea.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, let's see, a video game to be made into a movie, I really love the Fallout games, and maybe it's so much lore to the Fallout games that it would actually need to be a TV show, but I would love to see, like, a Fallout movie, at least about, like, one. Have you ever played Fallout?
No.
So it's...
Yeah, but not much.
You know the premise of it.
Right.
So I would love to see just, like a movie about, like, it talks a little bit about the wars and how they go into the shelters, the vaults. And I would just love to see one movie about, like, someone. I would like it to be about the vault. I don't have to see, like, the world outside very much. I would, like, Fallout 3, like, the intro is all in the vault. I would love to see, like, just a movie about some people trying to escape a vault.
Right. That would be interesting.
But that's the thing about video games and movies and TV shows is why they don't coincide is because movies only give you 2 hours to, like, make what you want to make. But then, like, a video game, those games, something like Fallout's endless, you know? It's, like, so open, and that's why there's so much lore to it, because there's so much to do. And it's hard to compact anything like that into a 2-hour, you know, piece of media.
What about the reverse? Do you have any ideas of movies that would make good video games, even though there's so many movies out there? But
movies that would make good video games.
Like Honey, We Shrunk the Kids.
We Shrunk. I think that might be a video game. I think there was a video game of that, and it probably was, like, not good. I'm trying to think. Like, what kind of movie, like, what I see is a video game.
Ooh, Tremors.
Tremors.
I hate to go back to Tremors. But...
Tremors would be cool as a video game, I feel like. I'm trying to think of something that could be, like, very open-ended. Like, I know it's been done. So, I know there's, like, a lot of Star Wars video games, actually. I don't like any of them, except for Battlefront 2. I don't know if you've ever played a Star Wars game.
Yeah, I like Battlefront.
Battlefront 2 is fun. Every other one is bad. I recently played one, I forgot what it's called. It came out on the Xbox One or PlayStation 4, and I played it on the Xbox One. And it's pretty much about, like, after the stormtroopers, like, you know, attack all the Jedi and everything, and I was so boring, like, and it was glitchy, it was not well made. I didn't like that one. But I would love, like, kind of how Battlefront 2 was, like the original Battlefront 2. I would love something like that. But like Call of Duty, pretty much with the stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. But I also would like an open world game where you get to play as, like, your own character, and you can kind of, like, take your own path, like a big open world thing. That would be cool.
Right.
What about you? Any movie ideas for games?
Well, I don't know. Now that I think about it, though, King Kong was actually not a bad video game. That was made after the movie, and that was actually a pretty good video game.
Yeah.
Did you ever play that?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I played a Game Boy version. Now, I don't think that, like, movies can't be made into games. I just think games can't be made into movies. But I actually thought of a movie that, like, kind of disproves that. Pokemon's a game first, and then it became the cards and everything else. But maybe it's not fair because it's already a TV show, too. Mm-hmm. But Detective Pikachu was good. Mm-hmm. It had Ryan Reynolds in it. Did you watch that? Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. It was very, it was interesting. It had a lot of, like, funny, like, moments that were kind of like throwbacks, I think, to, like, the old stuff of Pokemon. Also, it had, like, we were into Pokemon cards lately. It had its own line of Pokemon cards that were just from the movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, they were all live action cards.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They were really hard to get. I actually have a few. I used to work at the movie theater when that came out. I was a manager at a movie theater. And I took home a whole bunch of Detective Pikachu packs. And so while those packs are, like, pretty hard to get, I have a few left that are unopened. I have tons of them that I opened. So I kind of cashed in on that. So, okay, here's one more thing I wanted to talk about. COVID. Has it ruined movies? Because, like, since it's happened...
It's ruined it now, like, currently, I think
right.
we agreed on. But will it change it forever, long term?
I don't know. I definitely, like, I feel like since it's happened, there's no good movies that have come out.
Yeah.
One, I don't know if it just came out or I just saw it, but His House was pretty good. We watched that together.
Right.
But I don't know any good movie that's come out besides that since COVID.
It's weird because it seems like good movies, like the amount of actual good movies coming out was already starting to lag.
Yeah, and it just hit a dead stop.
And then boom, COVID hit, and now it's just no good movies.
Which I'll say is weird because a lot of people have moved towards like online first and like not going to the theater, but instead of putting their movies on like streaming services. I actually thought there'd be a lot of good movies come to like Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that, and I feel like there haven't been.
Yeah, I don't really do Netflix, so I don't know how many good movies they actually put on there. But
I don't know. I think the thing is that like everything they put on there now is like a Hulu or a Netflix original, and Netflix originals they started out really good. I think the first one that I know of at least was Black Mirror, which is a TV show, and Black Mirror is really good. But then Bird Box came out like 2-3 years ago, something like that, and it was very iconic. It was really cool. It was well made.
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen it.
You seen that?
Bullet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. But then like after Bird Box, I feel like they didn't make anything else that was like original and good. You know, like.
Yeah.
I think now they just focus more on like putting a lot out instead of putting a lot of good stuff out. Like they just kind of make something for everybody, you know.
That definitely
like
seems to be like I was saying, like catering to trying to cater
right.
to the.
They just have something for every genre, but they're not all good. Most of them aren't. But then it's not a movie, but we'll talk about it. There was a show that me and my wife Cynthia watched that I loved, and it was called Glow. Oh, it's not a movie, a TV show, and it's called Glow, and it stands for Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and it was just like a drama series about these women who were trying to make it as like actors in Hollywood and stuff back in the 80s and or 70s, and they became wrestlers, and that was their way to like go to fame, right? And most of them didn't know anything about wrestling. They were like researching it. One of them had like a family of like guys who were wrestlers, and she like taught them how to wrestle, and the rest were like, you know, using their acting skills to like take on characters. And it started out really good. And this is a Netflix original, and I loved it. And I was so excited to watch season 2, and when it came out, I think it was season 2, I was very disappointed because it stopped being about like, well, not just wrestling, but it stopped being about like everything the first season was about, and it took this turn to where like it kind of shoehorned in everything else. Like this movie was never about the show was never about like, there's nothing wrong with this either, but it was never about like feminism much, or like, you know, equal rights for like, you know, sexualities and that kind of stuff. And then everything about the second season just became that, you know. It was like there was like 2 episodes that talked about wrestling at all, and it was just about these women who were wrestlers, who just happened to be wrestlers, and everything else was just about like political issues.
Yeah.
And it got ruined the show because I don't think anyone who watched the show in the first place cared about that, because that's not why we watched it.
Yeah.
And so everyone who got into it stopped watching it because it's like, well, now, you know, I didn't watch a political like drama. I wanted to watch this, you know, other kind of thing, and the show failed. You know, it got canceled, and I think that's why. And I you know, I loved it. I like the Funko Pops for it and everything. But that, you know, I just, Netflix hasn't made anything good, and I think even the stuff they made that's good has like gotten worse because they keep trying to like cater to audiences instead of like just making good art.
Yeah, that's a trend we're gonna have to get used to, having female actors, female remakes of movies.
Whoa.
Female Ghostbusters.
I'm not trying to say I don't want women in my movies. What I'm trying to say is I don't necessarily have to watch something political. Like I can just, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that like them remaking the Ghostbusters with all female cast. It's like.
My problem was that...
Do people actually want that, or is it just...
It's not that I generally did not care about the women being in it at first. Like, I didn't... It's just a new Ghostbusters. Like, kind of like you said, like, with remakes. Like, I just didn't care about it because it was a remake. And I'm not a huge... Like, Ghostbusters is good, but I'm not a huge fan anyway. Like, I was never, like, all about it. But the problem with me is that, like, it's like I was saying. Like, they tried so hard to make this new, like, thing, but it wasn't good in the first place, you know? Like, your movie has to be good before it can make a statement. First step, make a good movie. Second statement, make a statement with your movie. You know, like the movie has to be good. Otherwise, I'm not going to care about your statement at all. And that was
I feel like a lot of people like Ghostbusters, both males and females, but I feel like the heart of Ghostbusters is almost like kind of a male movie. Like it's like it's kind of our
like
movie.
A bro audience.
It's like
something.
our movie, you know, and it's I don't know. I don't think a female cast, no matter how good that movie was, would have ever worked.
Alternatively, how do you feel about like a Twilight remake that caters to men?
It would still be very feminine.
No.
Because anytime you try to cater to men, it's gonna be feminine.
No. What I mean is like the show will be like so unfeminized that it'll be like for men to watch.
Yeah,
like,
it'll be cheesy, which is not.
Like instead of
not masculine, that's also feminine, being cheesy.
So for example, okay, imagine all the Twilight series, right? But just without Bella.
I've never seen the Twilights.
What? Oh, they're good. You know,
so
like
it's hard to imagine.
I'm kind of like trash talking it, but I like Twilight. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I know somebody else who like Twilight.
I went to see. I didn't see the very first one at its premiere, but every one after that I went to see the premiere of, and I really like them. I don't. I've heard they're gonna like remake them or make new versions, and I don't need that. I don't think they deserve that. But they're pretty good. I actually think the main characters are the worst characters though. Like all the background characters are way more interesting. But
I can't think of has that ever happened? Them trying to make a
female movie,
more masculine movie? I don't think so.
Not that I can think of. No. I think it's because guys don't really care about that. You know what I mean? Like, none of our movies have to be gender specific. Which I'm not saying, like, women need that either.
They just have to be good movies.
Right, but I think that's the heart of the issue. Is not that I don't want feminism in a movie, but, like, I don't want my movie to be only about feminism. Like, at the heart...
If a movie is focusing on feminism, it's probably not a good movie.
Right. Like, it has to have a plot first, and that plot can... If it's a political movie, it can be a political movie, right? For example, if I go to watch a movie that I know is about, like, politics and feminism, that's fine. You know, that's what it's about. Like, The Handmaid's Tale, I'm watching that right now. That's about that kind of stuff, and that's a great show. I like that, because I know that's what it's about. You know what I mean? And I know that it's trying to express that. But if I go to watch, like, Hercules, you know, the Disney remake of Hercules, and he finds out that, you know, Meg was stronger than him all along, and that, you know, he is, like, you know, shaming women, then I'm not going to enjoy it because that's not what Hercules is.
Yeah. I think when movies or any like music or movies tries to make like a point anyways, it's normally bad.
Yeah.
Like I say, just try to make a good movie that's
I think
compelling in some way, and that's something you haven't seen, and try to be accurate as far as like history and things like that.
Right.
And you know, then it'll make a point. But I can't stand when movies like intentionally try to make points. I think that makes a movie bad. Because you focus on the points they're trying to make, and you don't focus on the actual movie.
Right. Like, I think a movie should only be political if it's meant to be political. Like, if it's about politics. I think there's a huge problem with movies right now. I think that's why a lot of them have gotten bad, because, like, there is no more, like, just Shrek was a great movie. It was just, for its time, it was very interesting. And it had a point, right? It was like, you know, your looks don't matter. You know, it's about your personality and that kind of thing. It's about what's on the inside. But it wasn't about, like, something much deeper, you know? It was, like, a genuine, like, every human can feel it kind of thing.
Yeah, you could watch that movie and not really have that point just all in your face. Like, it wasn't like they were trying to
Or it's, like, a universal thing.
That just happened to be a point that it made.
Right. Or I think it's something that every human can relate with, you know? Yeah. It doesn't discriminate against anybody.
Yeah.
But, like, I always talk about this when, in any kind of business, or if you're making a movie or whatever... If you make it for only a certain group of people, you may attract that certain group of people, but now you're never going to be able to hit every audience, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you opened up a clothing store and you only sold clothes to men, you're missing out on half a demographic. Or if you only sold kids stuff. But, like, for the same thing with a movie, when you're making a movie, don't make it for a group of people, not unless you expect only those people to watch it. Like, don't be, surprised when your movie about why women are better than men or men are better than women when only half of the world goes to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then don't get mad when only half the world likes it and the other half doesn't like it. I
think that's why no one likes Brie Larson. I don't want to make this like too political, but she plays.
Let's make it political.
Make it super political.
Let's get political.
She plays Captain Marvel in the Marvel movies. And I think she just made it a point to when she got into the Marvel to be as arrogant and, like, rude as she could to everyone. And pretty much, like, they already have this established group of fans, and she just made it a point to, like, just, like, fight the norm of what Marvel was, I guess. I don't know. But, so she came in, right? And her movie's all about, like I was talking about, it's like they for first thing is it released on International Women's Day, which was not by mistake. You know, they intentionally made that movie come out on that day. They made it all about her getting mistreated as a woman and overcoming and, you know, proving that women are stronger than men and all that. And I think that's the heart of the problem with that movie is no other Marvel movie was about how strong a man can be or, you know, like this and that. They all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's other females in Marvel, like the Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson. Hers was not about that. And no man has ever, like, had a problem with her being in a Marvel movie. I think she's one of the best actors or actresses in Marvel. But that's because she just does a great job at acting. Brie Larson's not even a great actor. And she even in an interview, she straight up like was just like, and I'm the strongest Avenger there is now. And the guy who plays Thor was just like, you're not. And I don't know if he's talking about himself or not, but neither of them is the strongest character. I think Scarlet Witch is, and she's also a woman. So it's, you know, at that point, are you arguing with another woman about who's the strongest? Because that's, you know.
And that kind of irritates us, and I kind of wonder, like, maybe we can get some women on the panel and ask them about it. But I feel like that would kind of irritate some women too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
If there was, you know, if they were doing that, you know, flipped for the male perspective, like, I don't know, that would agitate me as well.
Like, no one came on the Marvel ever and was like, my character's the strongest until she did. And she changed, I think she changed the Avengers movies and she made them worse because of her presence. Like, no one likes her, I think. I think they were just trying to get more women into Marvel, maybe. And maybe it worked. I don't know. But her movie wasn't good. I don't like her.
It's almost like this is their only platform, like superhero movies, to like make that statement. Because it's almost like other genres or movies, it would be hard to fit that point in there.
Yeah.
Just like superhero movies, you can, you know, make a female superhero who's super strong, and it's just obvious. You know, it's easy to make that point. But yeah, I feel like that's just like, that was bound to happen.
My problem with
feminism and Hollywood and everything, I feel like that was bound to happen.
My problem with it was that she acted like she was the first woman to ever be a superhero. And even if you're only talking about Marvel, right? Because there was just Wonder Woman and DC and stuff like that. But even if you're talking about Marvel, there were so many good women in Marvel before her. There was the Black Widow, Gamora, Nebula. There was Mantis. There's so many. I just don't know, you know, what she made a point to come on and be like, you know, there's a woman in Marvel, get used to it, boys. But then we already had like 15 women in these movies that we love, you know, and cherished as like actresses. And we didn't need like you pushing that in on us, you know what I mean? It was already like a diverse
and it kind of goes back to the Ghostbusters thing. It's like, you know, I think of the almost superhero stuff is like women love it, men love it, but it's almost like sort of a guy thing. Like I don't know, from a guy's perspective, it's kind of,
I think we like it more as to where like, and then there are women who love Marvel more than me, of course. But as a general like audience, guys love Marvel. Like they'll be talking about it with their bros. Like a woman will go and watch it, generally speaking, and she'll be like, that was a good movie. But the guys will go and watch it and they'll get excited, they'll dress up for it. That's like their life, you know. I just think that most guys are more into it.
If you took a pool of preschoolers, you snatched them from the classroom and you interviewed them, and you interviewed the guys and the girls, I feel like you could get more. You could figure out that guys generally like superhero movies more than girls, like younger guys and girls. Just general, just like by nature, it's more of like a guy thing.
And I think you could even make the argument the reason girls don't like it is because you try too hard to make it a woman's thing. You know, like obviously I wouldn't want like. If there was a show just about how great men were, I wouldn't want it pushed down my throat either. Like I wouldn't enjoy that. I just want to watch a movie that's a movie. We're gonna have no woman ever watch this because I just for the record, I love women. I think they're deserving.
We even have a woman in the room.
Yeah, I have a wife. I think women should get equal pay.
She's back there knitting sweaters for the family.
I just don't like Brie Larson.
She's getting food prep for tomorrow. A big day of cooking ahead. Shit, I'm just kidding.
Did you speak? Okay, this is off topic, but I think I told you about this during International Women's Day this year. Burger King in UK tweeted out that women belong in the kitchen, and that's an equal idea of like, well, I think some versions of like feminism being forced is wrong. That is where like a man messed up. Someone should not have said that, and like women also deserve like respect, and like that was bananas. I could not believe that Burger King allowed that to happen. And then they defended themselves because, like, KFC even got on there and was like, you should delete this immediately or something. And they're like, you don't like, they were trying to defend themselves. Like, we're just trying to raise awareness that women should be cooks. And I just, like, they, like, defended themselves. And then later on, they made a tweet that was like, we're sorry that came off wrong. They didn't delete the original one. So people were like, well, you're not even going to delete it? That's pretty messed up of you. And then, so they deleted it. And then, I don't know. It was like, it looked worse because then they defended themselves at first, like they didn't see the problem with saying women belong in the kitchen on International Women's Day.
Yeah,
Burger King, you guys are terrible. I hate your food.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's is better.
Burger King, I love your food. I love your advertising. Love everything about you.
If you want to sponsor us, I'll take all that back if you want to sponsor us. But I did think that was a little messed up on your UK marketing team.
This is like a side topic, but like fast food, like their decision making and advertisements and like the stuff they come out with is kind of
sketchy.
It seems kind of like it seems like it's like them pulling the trigger real quickly, like they yank things off the menu, stick it on the menu.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder like what goes down in fast food restaurants. Like,
I think it's like maybe I could be wrong, but like when you get to the corporate world and people are like big guys in suits like trying to come up with ideas, and that's like their job is to come up with an idea. I feel like there's millions of ideas being shot around the office because, like, you're trying to keep your job pretty much, or you're trying to, like, get a raise, whatever. And they're probably just people coming up with all kinds of wild stuff. And then there's that one guy who just can't think of anything, and so he gets fired. And this new guy who just probably was, like, a manager at, like I don't know, some fast food place, he just comes in his first corporate job, and he's just like, oh, God, come up with an idea. And he's like, what if our purples? What if they're purple burgers?
Corn.
Chicken. Chicken. Now at McDonald's. Corn.
Have we done chicken yet?
Chicken. We were talking about this the other day. We were out eating. Why is every fast food joint just jumping on the chicken bandwagon? Yeah. Like Chick-fil-A and KFC and Popeyes have always done chicken, and now they're like, like McDonald's and Burger King, Wendy's. They're all like, hey, what if we sold chicken?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and introduce this theory.
All right.
I have a theory that, whenever they add new stuff to the menu, sometimes it's seasonal, sometimes it's not, and they end up taking it off. I have a theory that none of that is intended to be permanent. Like when McDonald's comes out with like a new item, or most of the time I think they have a revolving door of little things they like to just, create little recipes, and they put it out there and it gets a bunch of money, and then they, take it off the menu. I think it's like, I don't think they're trying to make it permanent to the menu. I think they just have like a revolving door of, whatever it may be.
Just trying to get people to come in. They're like throwing ideas.
Exactly. I used to think like, oh, they're trying to
see what's good.
See if this will work, and they're hoping that it'll work, and then they can permanently put it on the menu.
The truth is they don't care.
They even try. I think they just, have this revolving
just throw
door.
ideas on the menu to see if you'll come to the door.
Which makes sense, but I think that's
wrong. I hate corporate. All right, I have something to add to that theory.
I mean,
I remember this very vividly because I loved it. In the year 2016, I had just graduated. I graduated in 2015. I was a young lad at my first job. They introduced this thing called Mountain Dew Pitch Black, and it was like a grape flavored Mountain Dew, and I loved it. I drank it every day. It was really good. You can't find them anymore. Or at least not where we live. They were so good. And they released, and they had this little, it's kind of like a seasonal thing, for limited time only, get the Pitch Black Mountain Dew. I remember, like towards the end of its lifespan, they started doing this contest, where they were like, so, you guys love Pitch Black. Well, guess what? You're going to get a chance to vote for either Pitch Black or Baja Blast to become permanent in all stores. And I remember I told my friends, I was like, guys, I mean, maybe in hindsight this was wrong, but I was like, all my friends at the time, I was like, guys, let's all vote for Baja Blast. And I'll tell you why. Because Baja Blast has only been at Taco Bell forever. Like, you can never get Baja Blast. So let's get everyone we know to vote for Baja Blast. And then Pitch Black will obviously have to take the place of Baja Blast in Taco Bell. So then Taco Bell will only, they'll have like a specific, like, Baja Blast will be everywhere, but then Pitch Black will only be at Taco Bell. But I don't know who won. I don't know if they ever announced it.
Yeah.
But neither of at least maybe other people like who live in different states or whatever have different experiences. But where we live, neither of those drinks are ever available anywhere.
Yeah.
So I believe that the contest was fake, and they just wanted us to drink more pitch black.
Do you have a favorite gas station drink, or I guess you can include like any slushy and fast food, like any type of like you know what I'm talking about, like ices or slush puppies or anything like that. Do you have a favorite?
Something I like you can only get at gas stations is, Surge. I really love Surge.
Okay. That doesn't come in like the dispenser though.
No, it's only a canned drink.
Bottled. You gotta get it bottled.
No, it's not bottled. It's only canned.
It's only canned. So
Yeah, it looks like an energy drink, but it's not. Surge is, I think I've told you about it. It has an interesting backstory. It got banned because it was too sugary and bad for kids. Mm-hmm. But then, Monster and Red Bull were available forever. And then so they were, I guess, just like, well, Surge can't be any worse than this stuff. So we'll put it back on the market.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Surge. What about you?
I used to enjoy ices. I really liked any of the flavors, but I'd probably say cherry's my favorite. Good cherry icy, and most they don't have them in as many gas stations. I swear they used to be in like every other gas station.
Yeah.
And now it's like one in maybe 8 or 10 gas stations.
I feel like gas stations now have bad ones. They have like generic off-brand ones that aren't as good.
Yeah.
When I worked at the movie theater, my favorite thing, what I would do is I would get, you were talking like Coke and like a cherry or whatever. I would make cherry Coke ices, and they're so good.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
And I had to I got it down to a science. Like you put just one little layer of Coke, you put one little layer of cherry, and you go back and forth. Like you do like 20 layers each. Yeah. It's very like short, burst of the flavor, and then you just kind of mix it just a little bit, and it's perfect.
Yeah, and my brother just called this to my attention. Like, it definitely, the quality of your icy depends on the cashier.
You think so? Oh, yeah.
So it's like it depends on how she's mixing it up,
That's true. If you get it mixed, if you get single flavor.
The owner gives her the ingredients, but there's only so far you can go. I mean, it's up to her to mix those things correctly. It's almost like a barista. Like you should be tipping your
icy.
If you get a good icy, you need to be tipping the cashier.
I will say I think the brand matters. Like I don't think every icy's good. Like that one with the white dog on it, I think it's just icy. That one's good, but like off-brand icy's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Something. Yeah, I kind of wonder. I think it's normal. It's the flavor for sure, but it's also the ice. Like it's not as good of ice. I don't know. It's not as slushy. It's more
right. Just like ice with flavor poured on it.
Ground as well. It's like It's like a bad snowball versus like a good snowball. Like the texture.
I don't like snowballs, but
you gotta have a light, fluffy ice on your snowball, or else the syrup will just go right through the snowball, and all the syrup will be on the bottom, and there'll be no syrup inside the snowball.
No, I don't like snowballs, but you know what I do like is I guess it's technically a snowball, but it's from Bops. You go to Bops, right?
Yeah.
Do they have Bops in every state, or is that just like a
Southern thing?
Southern thing?
I think so.
So if you don't know what a Bops is, it's pretty much like a frozen custard like little place.
That may be like a friggin' like that may be like a Mississippi.
Like
Tennessee type of
like
thing.
straight deep south.
Yeah, maybe not even Florida or anything.
If you voted for Joe Biden, you're never gonna enjoy a Bops. I'm just kidding. I don't care who you voted for, but you should try a Bops.
Yeah.
So what Bops is just like, if you don't have one, it's like a fast food style like ice cream and custard place, and they have this icy called the Rainbow.
What if it's just a super chain and
it's everywhere? People in California is like
literally in
those
China.
Idiots.
Literally the Chinese.
Those morons. Well, for a long time, up until I was I feel like 14, I thought that everything was everywhere. Like, I thought Wards was everywhere. I know no one else knows.
I still think that. I have to remind myself that it's not.
Wards is not everywhere.
Yeah.
So, for anyone out there, we have awards and you don't.
We get the awards.
The awards?
Awards.
Yeah, so, I get this rainbow thing at Bob's.
It's just in Mississippi.
Is it?
I think so.
We got Wards and Bob's.
Yeah.
Sick. So Bob's.
We'll have to confirm that later.
Yeah, we'll have to Google and make sure that we're not lying. Someone in California is enjoying Bob's right now and being like, "What an idiot." So I get this thing called the Rainbow at Bob's, and it's like an icy, and they just put everything in it. And on the picture on the board, right, it looks like red, blue, green. It's very well made. And when I get it, it's brown. It's just a mix of every flavor they have, and it's just like dirty mush, but it's so good.
What? What's it called? The rainbow.
The rainbow.
It's not a rainbow when you get it though.
No, because it's supposed to
when
be.
You finish it, it's not.
No, it's supposed to look like a rainbow. So it's supposed to be like, you know, all the colors like striped across, and it's just like this pretty little snow cone, right?
Yeah.
But how it always, at least every time I've gotten it, it comes out just one ugly color.
Yeah, just a brown.
But I like it. It's really good. But I also love snow cone syrup. So like, I feel like if you just gave me a cup of syrup, I could just drink that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like, if they have it in one of those, you know, the icy machines, like spin the icy.
Oh, yeah.
Is it in that and it just spins up all the colors and it just dispenses brown?
No, because you know, Bob's, they have the little, like, the individual one.
Yeah.
I imagine, like, someone just gets one in between each of their fingers, like Wolverine, and just is like, and just it goes crazy. But I don't know. I want to work it.
As much as I love Bops, I have to say their snowballs are not as good as, what's that snowball chain? What's the main snowball chain?
Snowbiz?
Snowbiz, yeah, they have excellent snowballs.
Does everyone have a Snowbiz?
But then again, that's all they do, so.
Is Snowbiz around the world, or is that local too? Someone let me know.
It's an international biz.
That one's international?
International biz.
Cool. Internet biz. Nice. We've totally stopped talking about movies. We've been talking about like ice cream. And,
we had this written down. We're going from.
Yeah, we had a whole
snowballs.
list of things we were going to talk about. Not one of them involved feminism or snowbiz or Mississippi specific food chains.
We're going to delve deeper into snowbiz.
What was the first time you went to a snowbiz?
The first time? It's funny you say that because it was actually like last year.
Really?
Yeah, it was the one in Ridgeland.
Oh.
And it was. I've heard that's like a classic snowbiz, but I went to it and that's like the best snowball I think I've ever had in my life.
I like Bops a lot, but I haven't eaten snowbiz in a long time. But yeah, I don't know. Bops makes good ice cream, or I guess it's technically like what do you call it, custard or whatever. But there's stuff.
Yeah, Bops is incredible. The Anna Banana is my favorite thing.
I like the turtle sundaes. Just great.
Yeah, those, actually I take it back. Turtles and Anna Bananas. Those are my top two things.
Bops is great. You guys are listen. If we can confirm, oh my god, if we can confirm that Bops is only in Mississippi, you guys are missing out. You should, even if you don't like want to be in Mississippi, I don't blame you. But you should drive down here, come to Bops, and go straight home. Like, it is good.
Absolutely. I was shitting on the snowballs. I forgot to give them compliments. They're great. They're a great institution.
Yeah, I spent so long talking about them that I forgot how good it is. We've only got like a few minutes left till we hit about the hour mark. One last thing I wanted to talk about. What is the worst movie you've ever seen? Just like a terrible movie.
See, I'm gonna ask
Snowbiz.
you that question. I had trouble thinking of that earlier.
I have two ideas of the worst movie. The three, okay. I hate the Fast and the Furious. Maybe it's because I'm not a car person. I don't care about cars. You know, like my idea of car is like a Kia Soul. Like I don't care about them at all. But I hate the Fast and the Furious. It's just, and one thing about them, if you've seen Hobbs and Shaw, they tried to copy the Avengers with that movie. So like that, you know, the Avengers is such like a thing that like a show that was originally about street racing tried to copy Infinity War, because the guy in it tries to like destroy half the population or something, and there's like a scene where he's like pulling a helicopter that's like ripped straight out of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So I hate that one, and I hate Transformers. I hate them for like sort of the same reason. It's just too mainstream, and it's like goofy. It's not good. Bad acting. They get big actors who aren't very good.
Yeah. And
alternatively, maybe just the worst movie, and this one's not because of like marketing or like big, you know, business, but it was a movie with Will Ferrell in it, and I love Will Ferrell, but it's called Holmes and Watson, and that movie was so boring and bad. I fell asleep, and then I woke up for like 10 minutes and tried to watch it some more, and then we left early. I saw that one for free because I worked at the movies at the time. And that's the thing, right? I got to watch that movie for free, and I still couldn't watch it. I still had to get up and leave. It was so bad.
That's hate. That's real.
And I love Will Ferrell. Like, I have nothing against him. He's funny. But I don't know if it was his fault or whoever directed that movie or the writers. It was not funny at all. It was boring. It was awkward. It was cringy. Nothing about it was interesting to me. And it's like got that other guy he's always with in like Step Brothers.
Yeah, Can't remember his name. I know you're talking.
But they're always in like a lot of movies together. And I feel like they work well together. So I know it wasn't just their chemistry or anything. Maybe it's just because I've gotten older and that's not funny. Like I love Step Brothers. I love Ricky Bobby. Maybe it's just that style's not funny anymore. Yeah. But I don't think that's it. I think I can still go back and watch like Ricky Bobby or whatever and think they're good, or at least like enjoyable or watchable. That movie was just awful.
It's kind of like supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes type of.
Right. It's like
maybe that's the problem. Maybe like there's no way to make that work out.
There's a comedy. It could be.
Like maybe they're just trying to put two pieces together that just don't work.
I think maybe what it is maybe you're right, because a lot of their humor is like modern stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. Like it's very like for example in Step Brothers, the part where he's like I know you're lying because cops doesn't come on until like whatever. Yeah. Like that's something that like I can relate to in the 21st century, but their humor doesn't work with that movie because like it's so like medieval and I don't know, it just not medieval, but you know.
I understand.
It's just so old that their like reference humor didn't work. I guess it wasn't good. Whatever happened, it wasn't good. And I hope Will Ferrell makes another movie. I don't think he's made one since then. I would hate for that to be his last movie. Even if he has to just remake Step Brothers, you know, scene for scene, and make Step Brothers, you know, remastered. Mm-hmm. Anything but that movie. I would hate that to be his last thing.
Yeah, that would be very sad. I'm a big Will
Staying with
fan.
Adam Sandler. He needs to make something good fast.
Yeah. I kind of wonder how old these people are. Like,
right.
I feel like I could Google their picture and find out that they're much older than I'm thinking. Like, I'm picturing Will Ferrell is like 50, but he's probably much older than that.
No, I think he's younger than that. I think he's like 40. Yeah, I think he's like 40 something.
Alright, cool. We'll get some more movies.
He's 40 to 50 for sure, but Adam Sandler might be 80 by now. But I used to love Adam Sandler. I thought he was like the greatest comedian when I was a kid. Just to find out when I got older that his movies are, well, his old movies still good, but his new movies are maybe the worst ever.
Dude, Will Ferrell's 53.
Huh. Okay. How old is Adam Sandler? I bet he's like 55, 56.
He is 54.
He's only a year. That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Jim Carrey, 59.
Oof, Jim Carrey's getting old, but he's still funny though.
Yeah, all these people are literally about it. Like Kevin James, 55. Chris Rock, 56. David Spade, 56. They're all the same age. That's crazy.
Now here's a question. Okay, so while those guys are old and they don't really make great movies anymore, except for what's his name from The Mask.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey still makes great movies, but besides Jim Carrey, none of them really make good movies anymore.
I think Jim Carrey's very underrated.
I think he's the best of all of them.
Yeah, by far the best like actor because he's been in so many different types.
What was that movie you showed me? The Truman Show. Yeah. The Truman Show. I mean, it was funny to a degree, but it really wasn't a comedy. It was just like a good movie.
Yeah.
But like I think I was thinking there was like a thing on Twitter like a little while ago about like who's better, him or Adam Sandler, and someone said that like Jim Carrey could play any Adam Sandler character.
I have a challenge. I know some people who specifically hate Jim Carrey because he's so goofy, which I don't understand, but I guess I can understand. But I have a challenge for people who hate Jim Carrey to watch, that movie and try to actually.
I think you can
try to not like it. Watch the Truman Show and just see if you like. I feel like that would be a hard movie to dislike, even if you hate Jim Carrey.
Well, someone made a good point. They were like, okay, so like Jim Carrey could definitely play any Adam Sandler movie, like anything. Little Dicky.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Or is it no? Little Dicky's the rapper.
Yeah, that's the rapper.
What's that movie he's in where he's like the son of Satan? You know what I'm about?
Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of Adam Sandler movies I've missed.
Well, anyway, that's like his most outlandish role, I think.
One of the 50 movies I've seen, sorry.
51st movies by Adam Sandler?
Yeah. I've only
seen 50. People were saying like Jim Carrey could even play that, role, but Adam Sandler could never be like The Mask or The Grinch.
Yeah, if you just look at the movies Adam Sandler's been in, I love Adam Sandler, but it's like, it's a fairly short list.
I don't even, some people even like...
honestly, I think the highlight of his career was SNL. I may be wrong, but I feel him on SNL
was good.
It was hilarious.
I love Billy Madison. I think Billy Madison and Mr. Deeds are both really funny.
Yeah.
Also, it's animated, but 8 Crazy Nights is really good. Have you ever seen that one?
I have not.
It's like a Jewish Christmas movie. It's really funny.
I have not seen that.
You should add that to your to watch list. It's pretty funny. But I think though he's been in a lot of really terrible movies, I think the worst one is definitely Jack and Jill,
Mm-hmm.
like undoubtedly. But I also don't like. A lot of people like Grown Ups. I don't like Grown Ups either.
Really?
No.
I think I liked the first one was pretty good. I don't think I saw the second one.
Second one's definitely worse.
But it was about what I expected.
I like the idea of Grown Ups. It's just like a lot of comedians from their era coming together to be like in a big movie, you know. I like the idea of it. It's even like kind of about them getting older, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's a good idea. I just didn't think it was that great. And it's not their fault or anything. I just didn't like it. But
Have you seen Man on the Moon?
Who's that by?
It's a Jim Carrey movie.
Oh.
That's probably one of his better movies. He's him playing Andy Kaufman, like one of the famous comedians.
Mm-hmm.
But,
See, I feel like I need to watch more of Jim Carrey stuff because I didn't watch as much of him as a kid. Like, my family never introduced me to a lot of his
I
movies.
forgot he was in Batman.
Hell yeah, he's the Riddler in Batman.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the next Batman movie is gonna be about the Riddler. It's got the guy from Twilight in it. What's his name?
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, another.
No, that's not it. What's that guy's name? Robert Pattinson? Yeah.
Patty.
Patty.
Oh, Patty.
Yeah, I love him in The Lighthouse. That movie was great.
Yeah, it was very good.
I had to Google what it was about because I would not lie. It was a very complicated, weird movie, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was about, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember finishing it, and the first thing I said was, God, that was a great movie. Then the second thing I said was, what was that movie about?
It was true. In the middle of the movie, he looked over at me and he's like, I like this.
I don't understand it, though.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
I hate the masturbation scenes. There's too many, but that's okay. Besides,
there could have been more.
There could have been a few more. I like the scene where he's like dragging him into the dirt. You know, he's like a dog and he's like, get in the dirt, boy.
Yeah, get in the dirt.
But I think that's, about all the time we have. We've hit over probably an hour. Any last things you want to touch on, or?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. If you happen to watch this, if you want to see more of this, or if you have any ideas, just let us know. I hope you enjoyed it. We have a lot of other topics we've kind of jotted down that we want to talk about. But we have one that we're going to talk about politics.
Send us money. We're going to show you our account.
Our personal bank account, so you can send it to us.
Just direct deposits, nothing less than $5, please.
We were gonna do a political episode, not like on our beliefs, but just talk about politics in general. But then we talked a lot about politics in this one, so we might skip that one.
Of our opinions on politics.
Yeah, we're done.
We have no,
this 2-in-1.
That was it.
But I guess
small little feminism rants, and that's about it.
we don't have a schedule yet for these. I don't even know when I'll upload this. But thank you for listening in, and let us know if you have any ideas. We'll see you next time.